What is going on, everybody? Rhymestyle here, and today I got a very major Battle Z update for you guys that explains how the new Genki system is going to work in the upcoming Dragon Ball Z game. If you don't know what I'm talking about this Genki system right here. The one at the top, middle of the screen, you see it slowly filling up, it says Genki, can't miss it. That Genki bar is going to be one of the most important features of the game. Why? Well, because that will be your deciding factor of when you'll be able to do your special moves like the Spirit Bomb and Final Flash, basically your ultimate finishing attacks. But the unique thing is actually how it's going to work. So let's backtrack for a second. The way the game works is when you finish a fight, you get a score, and based off that score, you get rewarded with a thing called Dragonball points. These Dragonball points you then take to the store inside the game and buy different power-ups and items that you can equip to your character so you can fight better. On the other hand, you have a thing called premium points, and this is where it gets real interesting. Also very confusing, but it's interesting. I kind of like it. So every time you finish a fight, you submit all the energy you gained in that fight into a giant pool of energy that's been collected by every single player across the world. Meaning me, you, your brother, sister, and cousin, everybody who's playing the game. Every time you finish a fight, you send that energy into a giant pool of energy of players across the world. For doing that, you get rewarded with a thing called premium points, which is what you use to buy special power-ups that allow your character to do special attacks such as the Ultimate Spirit Bomb and the Final Flash attack. So to break it down again, you basically you finish a fight, you send all your energy you gain in that fight and trade it in for premium points. That premium points you then use to buy rare items like the Limit Jewel, which is what you use for special attacks. You equip that item onto your character, you gain a certain amount of Genki in a fight, and then you can pull off your ultimate attacks that, remember, will one-hit kill your opponents. So obviously they made it very, very difficult to pull off ultimate attacks. You'll probably be lucky to see, you know, an ultimate attack once every, I don't know, 10 fights. I can't really say, so don't take my word on it, but you will not see, you know, Spirit Bombs and Father of the Sun Kamehamehas and Final Flashes that often. But when you do, it will be very, very glorious. Does that make sense? Now, I know this all still sounds very, very confusing, so if you check the description below, I will have a step-by-step breakdown of what happens when you win a fight and when you gain energy and you submit the energy, etc. Because obviously, me just saying it is probably going to confuse the shit out of you. I've been confusing myself just by making this video, but if you're still confused, just check the description and I have a better breakdown on how it works. But now I want to know what you guys think of that, to those that aren't confused. If I confused you, again, I apologize. I confused myself. But to those who get it and understand how it works, what do you think about that? Personally, I'm a fan. You know, one of my biggest complaints about Dragon Ball Z games was that ultimate attacks didn't really feel like ultimate attacks. It was always easy to pull them off, except for Tenkaichi 2 and 3. Tenkaichi 2 and 3 did a great job of balancing it out, but it was still a little overpowered and not as balanced as it should be. But, you know, the biggest problem with DBZ games was it was too easy to do the attacks that should have killed your opponents. You know, Spirit Bomb should almost always take out an opponent, but it never did, because if it did, it would be really, really overpowered. So I'm really, really glad that they are introducing this new system that will add some sort of balance where ultimate attacks, again, feel like ultimate attacks. I feel like the fighting will actually be really, really balanced out now, and it'll be just so much more enjoyable, especially when you see an ultimate attack, whether you pull it off or your opponent pulls it off on you. It will just feel so satisfying seeing that. But then again, that's just me. So I want to know, what do you guys think about that? Leave a comment below. Yes, do you like it? No, do you hate it? And why? Also, let me point out how awful Ultimate Tenkaichi is. If you haven't played it, don't touch it. If you have played it, then you understand where I'm coming from. Ultimate Tenkaichi is the game that I'm playing right here, and it is by far the worst Dragon Ball Z game ever made, and it makes me appreciate Namco Bandai so much for giving us a new DBZ experience with Battle Z, which actually takes me into my next part of the video, is the question of the week. What's one thing you dislike about Dragon Ball Z Battle Z so far and want to change in the future? So for example, with me, I don't like the fact that you still can't transform it in the game. Now I know they took it out and made it better and added a different balance system, which is fine, and it's understandable. But to me, transformation is still that that makes you, like, you know, really excited about when you're fighting. So in a future Dragon Ball Z game, whether it's Raging Blast 3, well, Raging Blast 3 will have it, but if they do Battle Z 2, I definitely want to see in-game transformations. What about you guys? What's one thing that you don't like about Battle Z so far, but you want to see in the future Dragon Ball Z games? Leave that comment below. I will pick out 20-30 answers like always and feature them at the end of my next video. And hopefully our feedback will one day be heard. Anyway, so I hope you all are having a great day. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit that like button. Throw a Kamehameha at it, actually. Don't just hit it. Don't punch it. Throw a Kamehameha at it. Throw a Big Bang, Final Flash, or whatever. just blast that like button to smithereens. And if you're not a Super Saiyan already, then go ahead and ascend by hitting that subscribe button and join the Super Saiyan army, because Dragon Ball Z fans are the most awesome fans on Earth. Am I right or am I right? Of course I'm right. We're all right, right? Anyway, so here are the questions. Here are the answers from my last week's video. I asked, if you were to pick one Dragon Ball Z character in the universe, which one would you be and why? So check out those answers, and I will see you guys next time.
Going back, she don't gonna use she my wife, more than no time. More than she might have kissed you, show me that I can buy. No, you're by yourself. Tare to touch you, I got you. Come on, you'll be so gathered now. Genki no horo yo, moe agare yo, kimi no tamashi ni. Shire usai, chikara